Max, it is just over 600 miles or 1,000 kilometres in a direct line, if you will, from Iran to Israel across Iraq, Syria and the Kingdom of Jordan. The government in Amman confirming there were interceptions of, quote, flying objects over Jordan to secure, it says, the safety of its citizens. Look, Jordan does not want to see this conflict spilling over, nor does anybody across this wider region. And we're hearing the demands for de-escalation, for restraint, profound concerns around this region, statements from ministries of foreign affairs, foreign ministers, leaders saying we need to see de-escalation, not escalation at this point. Well, I'm joined now by the Jordanian Foreign Minister, Ayman Safadi. He is live for us from Amman. And Foreign Minister, let's start with the Iranian strikes. I mean, unprecedented 5-hour wave of projectiles directed towards Israel. To be clear, was it Jordan or the Americans who intercepted those projectiles over Jordan?
Good morning, Becky. The attack was a retaliation to the Israeli targeting an attack of the Iranian consulate in Damascus. The Iranians said that they've done what they needed to do and no more. Now I think the pressure is on Israel not to escalate and work towards the objective that we all share, which is de-escalating the conflict. And the first step towards de-escalation is ending the aggression on Gaza, ending the illegal measures on the West Bank, and get on a track that will produce the just and lasting peace on the basis of the two-state solution that we all believe is the only path to peace and security. As far as Jordan, what we did was consistent with our long-standing policy. Any projectiles, drones, whatever that enters our space historically, and we'll continue to deal with it because it poses a threat to Jordan. We're in the range of fire. Any missile or projectile that could fall in Jordan would cause harm to Jordan. So we did what we have to do. And let me be very clear. We will do the same regardless where those drones are from Israel, from Iran, from anybody else. Our priority is to protect Jordan and to protect Jordanian citizens and to do whatever we can against escalation that would be detrimental to all.
Foreign Minister, was it the Americans or the Israelis who asked you to intercept, or are you saying it was absolutely a decision by Jordanians first and foremost, unilaterally, to intercept those projectiles?
As I said, Becky, our long-standing policy, whatever objects that go into our skies, violate our airspace, that we believe pose a danger to Jordan, we will do whatever within our means to end that threat, and that's what we did. Again, I think what happened was a sign of how terrible things could be, how dangerous the situation could deteriorate into, unless we deal with the cause of all this tension, which is the Israeli aggression on Gaza and the continued absence of political horizons to solve the conflict as a result of Israeli policies. Again, Iran retaliated against the attack. See, that is over. Now we have to look to the future and to look for now, actually, and to make sure that there's no other triggers for escalation. And I think the onus is on Israel for that.
And I want to pursue your thoughts on that. Let me just bear with me for one moment. Were you warned ahead of the pending attack by Iran? I mean, you summoned the Iranian ambassador over statements you said they've made against Jordan. So firstly, were you warned? And secondly, can you be clear about what was said to the Iranian ambassador? I mean, does Jordan believe it is under increased threat from Iran and its proxies at this point?
Look, I mean, it's no secret that, days before the attack, it was clear to everybody that the attack, that the Italian retaliation was imminent. And we were aware of that, as were many other countries. In relation to your question on the summoning of the ambassador, we did so in reaction to what we believe was harmful disinformation statements carried by Iranian news agency against Jordan, incitement against Jordan, and we told them very clearly, very unequivocally that this is not acceptable. Their problem is with Israel and not with Jordan, and we will not allow for such disinformation against Jordan to continue, and we will retaliate if they continue with that. We don't want conflict with Iran. We don't want conflict in the whole region, but in order for good relations with Iran to develop, we have to address all causes of tension with Iran, which include some intervention and some threats to our national security, including through or by militias affiliated with Iran that are trying to flood Jordan with drugs and weapons. But again, I think we need to be focused. The issue here is not Iran. The issue here is the aggression on Gaza. The issue here is the extremely illegal and harmful measures to the Palestinians of the West Bank. This has to stop. As you said, Becky, nobody wants escalation. We all want to calm things down. But the first step towards that is ending the aggression. And we're seeing that aggression continuing. And I think one more point I want to say is that, look, the Israeli Prime Minister have always wanted to invoke some sort of confrontation with Iran. Now, as the international pressure on Israel to stop the aggression in Gaza continues, invoking a fight with Iran is something that we believe he thinks could dilute that pressure and could take attention away from Gaza and focus on this new confrontation. What we tell all our partners in the international community, the issue is in Gaza and in the West Bank, and our focus needs to continue to be on that, because unless we solve that, then the chances for regional escalation will continue.
And you and I have spoken about this at length over months and months. Even before October the 7th, you have been warning of the potential for a widening escalation here. King Abdullah has spoken to Joe Biden, the US president, and he has warned him that any escalatory measures would widen this conflict. And again, you've warned since October the 7th and before that this region is being driven to the abyss. We hear those sentiments echoed around the wider region. Do you genuinely believe the Biden administration will be able to use its leverage with Israel to contain this situation, given that you've just said you believe that Benjamin Netanyahu is intent on widening this war?
Look, I mean, we do hope that will be the case. Reports about American positions have clearly said that the U.S. has told Israel that it should not escalate, that it will not even support Israel if it decides to go against Iran. And as I said, I mean, Israel attacked the embassy, the consulate, and Iranian consulate in Damascus. Iran retaliated. It said it will do no more. So I think that should stop now. And I think the whole world has an interest in making sure Israel gets that message and is not allowed to invoke another confrontation with Iran. As to your second question, look, we've said it before. I think I said it on your show, Becky, before, that as the pressure on Netanyahu mounts as a result of the continuation of the war in Gaza, he will be looking for ways to dilute that. And I think he has an interest in the conflict continuing so that he doesn't face the reckoning that he is inevitably going to face in Israel. And therefore, we should all be cognizant of that fact, and we should all work to make sure that this escalation doesn't happen, that the war in Gaza stops, so that we all start working on a once and for all solution that will end this conflict on the basis of the two-state solution that would fulfill the legitimate rights of the Palestinians to freedom and statehood, and also address Israel's legitimate security concerns. Other than that, we're going to be in this cycle, in and out, and history has shown that the region will be prone to conflict unless the root cause of that conflict, which is the occupation of the Palestinian territories, the measures that are being taken by Israel systematically to kill the two-state solution are stopped. And again, you see what's happening on the West Bank, Gaza. Since Friday, 6 Palestinians have been killed, over 60 injured. House and cars have been put on fires by settlers who continue to rampage Palestinian communities. So that is the danger that we are focused on right now. Again, the only way to de-escalate is to stop the aggression, create real, credible political horizons that would take us to a solution that will be in the interest of Palestinians, Israelis, and everybody else in the region.
Foreign Minister, Jordan, let's be quite frank here, is trying to balance what is a very delicate position. Maintaining relations, of course, with the United States, but also with Israel. You have a peace treaty with Israel, with what is your highly critical position of the way that Israel has carried out its war against Hamas in Gaza. And many in Jordan want to see the kingdom do more. And that includes calls for cutting ties with Israel. Will that happen?
Becky, it will not happen simply because we don't believe that will be helpful to Jordan or to the Palestinians or to the cause of peace, which is a necessity for all of us in the region. That said, however, given what Israel is doing, given its killing of political horizons, given the aggression on Gaza, that peace treaty is a document collecting dust, because we will not be able to act on many of the opportunities that this treaty should offer to us, to the Palestinians, to the whole region. Public opinion, as you said, is extremely against any kind of normalization with Israel now. And again, this is Netanyahu's doing, not since October 7, but long before October 7, when he publicly said he doesn't believe in the two-state solution, when he publicly said he will suffocate the aspirations of Palestinians for freedom, when he continued with settlement building, confiscation of land, security attacks on Palestinian communities, allowing settler terrorism against Palestinians. This is the reality. So Jordan is a country that believes in the necessity, in the need for just and lasting peace for all, because we believe it's the only path to bringing about peace and security to Palestinians, to Israelis, to all of us. But in these conditions, under these circumstances, and we've warned before, Becky, that the amount of dehumanization and hate that this war is producing in Israel, in the Arab and Muslim world, is extremely dangerous, and it will be extremely difficult to navigate through in the future unless there is serious effort that will deliver the just and lasting peace that we will have been working for.
Foreign Minister, let me ask you this as a final question. Who is more of a threat to that peace and security, not just for the region, but international peace and security at this point? Israel or Iran?
Look, I think there's no point comparing, Becky, Israel and what Israel is doing, what this Israeli government is doing, what the radicals in this Israeli government are inciting for, is an extreme danger to the security and stability of the Middle East. And as far as Iran is concerned, Iran is saying, even though it's retaliated again against the attack on its embassy, the war on Gaza have been happening for 6 months. The retaliation came after the attack on the consulate. But if we solve the Palestinian issue, if we fulfill the Palestinians' right, if we create real peace between Israel and the Palestinians, then all of us will tell Iran, you have nothing you have no right to interfere in the affairs of the Palestinians, or all of us. So I think everything is connected in the Middle East. All conflicts are interconnected. And I think we need to start by the urgent now, and the urgent is to end the aggression in Gaza, start real horizon for peace, and then we can deal with Iran. And look, it's clear that we have issues with Iran. As I mentioned, the drug trafficking from Syria by militias that are affiliated with Iran, intervention in the affairs of the Arab world. But I think right now, Iran is saying that it has a problem with Israel because of the occupation. It champions itself as a protector of the Palestinian and the Arab Muslims' right. If we solve the Palestinian issue, then all of us will be able to tell Iran, hold on, hold back, don't drive us into trouble. So I think the immediate danger now is the aggression, is the failure to create political horizons. And as for Iran, all of us want, again, good relations with Iran, with Israel, but in order for that to happen, roots of conflict, causes of tension have to be addressed. And right now, I think the biggest cause of tension in the region is the war on Gaza and the continuation of the occupation and the absence of any political horizon for fulfilling the Palestinians' right, and therefore create a peace that will also address the legitimate rights and concerns of Israel.
Ayman Safadi in Amman, Foreign Minister. Thank you.